Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight. I'm Tracy Shilchi and in the next 30 minutes I'll be getting you the day's top stories, starting with the headlines. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti slams Pakistan and separatist leaders for fueling trouble, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi will end the unrest in the state after meeting him. But on the ground, Kashmir turmoil enters the 50th day. Militants kill a policeman in Pulwama district, taking the death toll to over 70 now in the valley. BJP President Amit Shah inaugurates the meeting of Chief Ministers of party-ruled states in Delhi, asks them to make their states effective instruments to execute the centre's pro-poor and good governance agenda. Whistleblower in Scorpion leak to hand over the leaked data to Australian government on Monday. Defence Minister says leak is not a big worry as weapons details are not included in the documents. And the first T20 match between India and world champions West Indies is to be played in Florida today. Mahendra Singh Dhoni to lead the side with all the regular players. Our top story, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti today met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the capital to discuss the unrest in the Kashmir Valley. She blamed Pakistan and the separatist leaders for fueling unrest in the state. Describing her discussions with Modi, she said that the Prime Minister was very concerned about the situation but will get the state out of the deadly turmoil.
Amid the ongoing unrest and curfew that entered its 50th day on Saturday, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti met Prime Minister Narendra Modi to discuss the prevailing situation in the valley.
It's a matter of concern. सबके लिए ये concern की बात है, Prime Minister के लिए भी है और वो चाहते हैं कि ये खून खराबा रुक जाए, जम्मू कश्मीर जो है इस मुसीबत से बाहर निकल आए.
Mehbooba sought an institutional mechanism of interlocutors to bring all stakeholders together in order to carry forward former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's policy of an internal dialogue.
Concern की बात है, Prime Minister के लिए भी है और वो चाहते हैं कि ये खून खराबा रुक जाए, जम्मू कश्मीर जो है इस मुसीबत से बाहर निकल आए और उन्होंने बार-बार कहा और हमारा भी ये मानना है कि जो पीडीपी और बीजेपी की अलायंस हुई है उसका बेसिस ये था कि जो वाजपेयी जी ने जम्मू कश्मीर के हवाले से एक डायलॉग यहाँ भी और पाकिस्तान के साथ एक रिकंसिलिएशन का प्रोसेस शुरू किया है, उसको आगे चला के जहाँ उन्होंने छोड़ा था उसको आगे चला के जम्मू कश्मीर की जो भी समस्या है उसका कोई हल ढूंढा जाए. जैसे मुफ्ती साहब बार-बार कहते थे कि मोदी जी के पास 2/3 मेजॉरिटी है. अगर इनके वक्त में कुछ नहीं होगा तो फिर कभी कुछ नहीं होगा. अगर वाजपेयी जी आगे आए होते उस वक्त 2005 में तो मुझे लगता है अभी जम्मू कश्मीर की समस्या काफी देर हद तक हल होगी.
But the efforts of the BJP-PDP alliance to bring normalcy in the valley through an institutionalized mechanism received mixed reactions from other political parties.
No, I think there's an absolute coordination between the centre and the state, and therefore we are moving in the right direction, all of us. And I'm sure very soon things will return to normal in the valley and we'll move ahead on the course of development.
It is now clear that everything to do with Kashmir now is very closely monitored by the Prime Minister's office. It is the Prime Minister who took the initiative to convene the all parties meeting. It is he again who met with the leaders of the opposition in Jammu and Kashmir, and he's now met the Chief Minister. So we'll have to watch and see how this complements the efforts of the Home Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, who's just finished his second visit to the valley.
Government of India is expected to take some decisions. Some of these decisions are going to be hard and of a far-reaching impact.
The present issue is, the urgent issue is how to diffuse the situation, how to de-escalate the situation. And I don't think they have any clarity. Even Home Minister who went there, he simply said government will look for alternatives to pellet guns.
और जो भी कश्मीर के हैं, बगैर किसी कंडीशन के सबसे बातचीत करना चाहिए। ये तो हम लोग शुरू से ही कह रहे हैं। और जब तक आप राजनीतिक डायलॉग सबके साथ शुरू नहीं करेंगे, कश्मीर का जो हालात है इस समय वो सामान्य हो नहीं पाएगा।
Well, the situation in the Kashmir Valley continues to be a matter of concern. The central government and the state government, the BJP-PDP government, must walk that extra mile to see that the situation is brought under control.
Notwithstanding the pressure, Pakistan High Commissioner stepped ahead and said his country is ready to discuss the Kashmir dispute to ensure peace.
बातचीत का दावतनामा भिजवाया था और बहरहाल वो आगे बात नहीं चली, लेकिन हम अब भी उम्मीद करते हैं कि कश्मीर में बातचीत होनी चाहिए और कश्मीर एक ऐसा मसला है जिसे कश्मीरियों के उनकी उमंगों के मुताबिक हल होना चाहिए और यही हमारी हमेशा से ये पोजीशन रही है और हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि पाकिस्तान और भारत के दरमियान जम्मू और कश्मीर पे बातचीत का सिलसिला जिस तरह पाकिस्तान ने तजवीज़ किया है उस तरह बातचीत का मसला आगे बढ़ेगा।
The Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister appealed to the protesters on the streets that she should be given a chance to resolve the issue. The centre is planning to form a new team to start the dialogue in Kashmir through informal channels and help resolve the crisis that has derailed normal life of Kashmiris for almost 2 months. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, a policeman was shot dead Saturday morning by suspected militants in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama. Constable Khurshid Ahmed Ganai was shot by unknown gunmen outside his residence at Koil in Pulwama. Ganai succumbed to his injuries after being critically injured. He is survived by his wife and 2 children. Earlier this week, 5 policemen, including 2 officers, were injured in a terror attack in Pulwama. This will remain the big story that we'll be tracking. Meanwhile, BJP President Amit Shah today convened a meeting of chief ministers and deputy chief ministers of BJP-ruled states. At the meeting, Shah asserted that BJP has ushered in an era of politics of performance and also asked chief ministers to make their states an effective instrument for execution of the centre's pro-poor and good governance agenda. All the states also made a presentation of their work and what they plan to do in the future, especially in the field of agriculture, women's empowerment and employment. This was the first such gathering of BJP-ruled chief ministers since the party stormed to power at the centre in May 2014. Later in the evening, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also attended the meeting. Now, the latest on the massive Scorpion data leak, and the whistleblower behind the document leak will hand over the disk containing thousands of pages of data to the Australian government on Monday. The data includes crucial information about the Indian submarine's stealth and warfare capabilities. According to the Australian newspaper, which first published the massive leak of documents, the whistleblower wants Australia to know that its future submarine partner, France, has already lost control over secret data on India's new submarines. The newspaper also said that the story behind the leak may be more of incompetence than espionage. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, though, played down the leak on Friday, saying that it's not a big worry for India. The Karnataka government today expressed inability to release Kaveri water to Tamil Nadu, citing a severe distress situation. At an all-party meet today, the government decided to apprise the Supreme Court of the ground reality. Tamil Nadu filed a petition in the Supreme Court on the 22nd of August, seeking a directive to Karnataka to release water as mandated by the Kaveri Water Disputes Tribunal. But Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah said that the Kaveri Basin did not have enough water. In the petition, Tamil Nadu had also charged Karnataka with violating the tribunal's orders and diverting water meant for farmers during distress years for undeclared projects.
We require for drinking purposes about 40 TMC of water, but we are having only 51 TMC of water in all the 4 reservoirs. So this is the situation. Our government is going to make a submission accordingly.
President Pranab Mukherjee on Saturday attended the maiden convocation ceremony of Nalanda University and launched the ceremony for construction of the sprawling university campus. President Mukherjee, who is on a 2-day visit to Bihar, awarded degrees to 12 students of the first batch of the university. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and Chancellor of the University George Yeo and former Chancellor and Nobel laureate Amartya Sen were also present at the ceremony. The university is an initiative of the Indian government and 18 East Indian countries. Representatives of 8 other countries also participated. The President will now head to Bengaluru to address the 24th annual convocation of the National Law School of India University on Sunday before returning to Delhi.
I would not like to go into the details of what transpired from 2006-7, first conceptualization to these years' development, when we are happy to see the bright faces, gleaming eyes of the young graduating students who are moving out of the portal of this university today as the first batch of graduates of Nalanda University.
In other news, a day after the Aam Aadmi Party removed him from the post of convener of its Punjab unit, Sucha Singh Chotepur on Saturday rejected the party panel to probe allegations against him. Chotepur also dared the party to make public the video in which he was shown accepting money from a ticket aspirant. He alleged that the Aam Aadmi Party leadership was orchestrating the sting operation against him and alleged that they were collecting huge sums of money from volunteers without issuing receipts to them. The Punjab leader is in spotlight for his alleged involvement in a cash for ticket scandal.
इधर कमेटी बाद में बनती है, पहले निकाल दिया जाता है, पहले उतार दिया जाता है। और मैं इन लोगों को यही बोलना चाहता हूं कि जिन लोगों को कमेटी बनाई है आपने, वो लोग तो मेरी सिफारिश कर रहे थे कि छोटेपुर को पार्टी से निकाला जाए। वो लोग कमेटी के मेंबर हैं।
And here's a look at what else made news across the country today and nationwide. Banda district of Uttar Pradesh is hit by waterborne diseases. At least 6 people are reported killed, though the exact cause of the deaths are still unknown. Many people complaining of severe headache, diarrhea and gastroenteritis have been admitted to the district hospital. Doctors said the symptoms resemble dengue, as many patients were suffering from high fever and a rapidly falling blood platelet count. At least 2 people died and several others were injured after a fire broke out at a government hospital in Murshidabad district of West Bengal. Several patients, including children from a ward next to the site of the fire, fell ill because of the smoke inhalation. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has ordered an investigation into the reasons behind the incident. Two moderate earthquakes measuring 4.6 and 4.3 on the Richter scale hit Himachal Pradesh today in the wee hours. The earthquake had its epicenter at Kullu at a depth of 10 kilometers. Panic-stricken people gathered in the open in Rampur, Bushehr and Shimla. While some old buildings developed cracks, there was no report of loss of life or major damage. With a quick break here, up next we're getting international news. Stay with us.
Gyan Chopper is the ancient version of Indian snakes and ladders. This intriguing game was popular among the old, the young and the rulers as well. The chopper has its origin in the Jain philosophy. It tells the story of virtue, symbolized by the ladders, rewarded, while the vices shown by the snakes are punished. Each square, in turn, also narrates some message of wisdom.
Kot Lakhpat. Silence here is mysterious. The place was once a flourishing port where almost everyone was rich and the topman of Kot Lakhpat was super rich. The fabled fort had a mysterious curse after the earthquake of 1819. The place turned into ruins almost overnight, and the curse at Kot Lakhpat? Miniature-sized rotis and pulses, now only in stones and pebbles. During his 2 journeys in the early 16th century to Makkah and Medina, Baba Nanak had visited Kot Lakhpat. After a series of earthquakes in the past, River Indus has moved towards Karachi side in Pakistan, leaving behind wide expanse of Run of Kutch.
Welcome back. Let's get to international news now, starting with Italy, that marked a day of national mourning on Saturday for the 290 people killed in Wednesday's earthquake that devastated parts of the mountainous regions. A state funeral was organized for 35 of the victims at the town of Ascoli Piceno. The death toll is expected to rise further as rescue and relief operations continue.
Flags flew at half-mast across Italy as the country observed a day of national mourning for the victims of the earthquake that killed nearly 290 people. A mass funeral was organized for 35 victims from the town of Arcota at a sports hall in the regional capital Ascoli Piceno. The coffins laid out in rows on the floor include two painted white for two children killed. Prime Minister Matteo Renzi was among those attending the funeral, along with President Sergio Mattarella.
Che con il nome di Cristo sulle labbra si sono congedati da noi e uniti.
Most of the victims were Italian, but several foreigners were among those killed.
Sì, anche se non li conosco, però mi ha stretto il cuore perché sto proprio con loro, perché chi ha perso tutto, persone care, casa, i sacrifici che uno ha fatto, poi non si ritrova niente, insomma non lo so, però non deve succedere.
Even though rescuers had little hope of finding more survivors, they kept searching through the rubble of the worst-hit town Amatrice. More aftershocks were also registered in the early hours of Saturday, one with the magnitude of 4. More than 200 people died in Amatrice alone. Along with Arquata and Accumuli, Pescara del Tronto was also hard hit. The 6.2 magnitude quake hit in the early hours of Wednesday, 100 kilometers northeast of Rome. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The United States and Russia failed to achieve any breakthrough towards a new ceasefire in Syria even after 9 hours of talks in Geneva. The focus of the meet was to iron out details of how to address ceasefire violations by President Bashar al-Assad's regime, as well as the rise of a rebel group linked to al-Qaeda that has mingled with the opposition groups backed by the U.S. Addressing a joint news conference on Friday, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that talks between teams from both the countries will continue over the next several days. The meeting marked yet another attempt to find common ground on easing a conflict that has killed at least 250,000 people.
We don't want to have a deal for the sake of a deal. We want to have something done that is effective and that works for the people of Syria, that makes the region more stable and secure, and that brings us to the table here in Geneva to find a political solution. We are for a united Syria. We do not support an independent Kurd initiative. There has been some limited engagement, as everybody knows, with a component of Kurd fighters on a limited basis, and we cooperated very closely with with Turkey, specifically, to make sure that there was a clear understanding of the rules by which that engagement would take place.
And here are more international news updates in Global Buzz. Bangladeshi security forces killed the alleged mastermind of last month's attack at a cafe in Dhaka today. Tamim Ahmed Chaudhry and 2 other militants were killed after a joint team of counter-terrorism and police stormed their hideout in the outskirts of Dhaka. The cafe attack in Dhaka on the 1st of July killed 22 people, including 17 foreigners and 2 policemen. A South African stunt pilot was killed when his plane crashed at an air show in Jiangye in northwestern China's Gansu province. The video shows people first reacting as if it were a stunt, but started shouting a few seconds later when they realized something went horribly wrong. No one else was injured in the crash. Residents in US's Kansas City were urged to stay off streets and to take shelter on higher ground after a powerful storm caused flash floods in the region on Friday night. The National Weather Service issued an emergency alert for the downtown area, which received more than 6 inches of rain. And time for another quick break. Up next, sports news.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Currency Building, Kolkata. A 178-year-old structure, built in 1833 in the Italianate style, with Venetian windows, ornate cast iron gates and railings. The central hall of this building gets light through the sunlight overtoppings in the large domes. This beautiful building was originally the Agra Bank, and then it became the Office of Issue and Exchange of Government Paper Currency. It later housed the Reserve Bank of India until 1937. Today, the building is protected by the Archaeological Survey of India.
Welcome back. Let's get you some sports news now. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced plans to set up a task force which will prepare an action plan for the upcoming Olympics in 2020, 2024 and 2028. The task force will be responsible for preparing a strategy for sports facilities, training, selection procedures and related matters. India's 118-member contingent won just 2 medals at the recently concluded Rio Olympics. Here are the details.
With a poor showing at the Rio Olympic Games, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday announced the setting up of a task force to prepare the roadmap for the next 3 games. Speaking at a meeting of the Council of Ministers, Modi said the task force will be set up in the next few days. A statement from the Prime Minister's office said the task force will be set up to prepare a comprehensive action plan for effective participation of Indian sportspersons in the next 3 Olympic Games to be held in 2020, 2024 and 2028. The task force will prepare overall strategy for sports facility, training, selection procedure and other related matters. The task force will comprise of members who are in-house experts as well as foreign experts. The decision comes against the backdrop of India's dismal performance in the Rio Olympics, as the country won only 1 silver and 1 bronze medal, even after sending its biggest contingent of 118 athletes. India finished 67th in the medals tally. Ace shuttler PV Sindhu clinched silver while wrestler Sakshi Malik won bronze, sparking an outpouring of national pride and celebrations in India. But it was far below the Sports Ministry's target of 10 medals in Rio. India has never finished high on the medals table, winning just 28 medals from 24 Olympic appearances. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's get you more updates from the world of sports in SportsBeat. Indian tennis player Saket Mainini qualified in the singles main draw of a Grand Slam for the first time after beating Serbian Peja Kristin 6-3, 6-love in the final qualifying round. Mainini, who is India's highest-ranked tennis player, has never previously played an ATP Tour event. His first-round opponent at the US Open will be world number 48 Yuri Vesely of Czech Republic. Robert Lewandowski scored a hat-trick as Bayern Munich thrashed Werder Bremen 6-0 in the opening game of the Bundesliga. The champions went ahead through a stunning Javi Alonso volley before Lewandowski struck twice. Captain Philipp Lahm and Frank Ribery also found the net frequently. American Patrick Reed moved a step closer in his bid for a 5th PGA Tour as he seized a 2-stroke lead at the halfway stage of the Barclays tournament. Reed, who was co-leader with Scotland's Martin Laird overnight, mixed 6 birdies with 3 bogeys to card a 3-under par 68. A win for Reed will also ensure him an automatic selection for next month's Ryder Cup. And that's all we have for you on the news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.